This is Liam or Weagle on your Overwatch, back with a new video today, a new Reinhardt guide. Yes, the second part is finally here. We've had a lot of requests and there's quite a lot to go through. As always, the comment section is the place to let me know if I miss anything and what other guides you'd like to see. But be sure to check out our advanced guide playlist where there's quite a lot of different heroes in there, and some of them like Genji have got multiple guides because there's a lot to cover. So let me know what you want us to cover next time. The first thing I want to show you guys though is an extreme example of an attacking Reinhardt and how important it is to hit his pin. Now, how many times have you been in a game where you run into a Reinhardt that is just wrecking your team? Well, in this guide I want to show why they do that and how they do that and what makes such a good Rein player. Straight away, the fire strikes in, initiation, slam down the enemy team, and it's already game over for that point, and we win it that simply just because I, as Reinhardt, took the initiation, my team followed up, and we won the point. Now that, of course, is an extreme example of it going perfectly, and you'll see again that I do it in a second. So one common misconception that I hear very regularly, even at High Diamond and Masters, is stop going in as much with Rein, stop pinning so much with Rein. Well, actually, that's kind of his job. His shield only lasts so long, and with how fast the game is at the minute, once that shield's gone, you have to have a plan of action. And Reinhardt's only other plan of action is to attack. So once again, straight in the fight, fire strike everyone, then you put your shield up to save your team, the nano comes in, and then again, wipe the enemy team again. So pinning, very, very important, particularly on attack. It's great for initiation, and if you're a Zarya, get ready for your Rein to pin so that you can shield him as well to keep him alive that little bit longer. Now, this isn't necessarily something that just has to be done in the nano meta. You don't have to have an Ana, but it does, of course, help if she's pocketing you and if you've got a nano boost being thrown your way every now and then. But for the focus of this video, what I mainly want to talk about is actually how to Rein defensively, because it's a very similar principle, but it's more difficult to do. You've got to pin or be pinned. Sometimes you run into a Reinhardt that's very, very good on the enemy team and he absolutely ruins you. Well, how do you counter that? If he's pinning you and pinning your team, how do you counter a Rein that is doing that? Well, you have to play mind games with him, because the team with a better Rein in a Rein v Rein situation, or a game that's got Reins all the way through, the better team with the Rein is going to win. It's that simple, because it's that important to wipe out the other Rein. So you have to duke out the enemy team's fire strikes. Don't walk into them. At the start of the game, don't run the obvious routes. Don't walk into the fire strikes. But more importantly, even on defense, you've still got to hit the money pins. Now, at the start, you would have seen I actually hit a pin, but I failed and I got killed, and that's because I initiated on the wrong time. However, I'm about to show you how to initiate properly. A fire strike does hit me, but I managed to pin the Rein and take him out straight away. Even on defense, this is a massive advantage. We slam the enemy team down and we wipe them all. So this is what I want to put forward to you guys is, if you're a defensive Rein and you've got your shield up, it's going to get shredded. It is going to go and you're going to be left with no utility other than your fire strike, which isn't that helpful without your shield. The only other thing you could possibly do then with Rein is to take the battle, is to take the pin and hit the pin, more importantly, because if you miss it, you die. And if you don't pin them, they're going to pin you. If you come up against a good Rein, then yes, mind games. They're trying to duke out your pin, you're trying to duke out their pin, and that becomes an even more complicated situation, and that can't be taught. That can only come down to experience and becoming a better Rein through playing the game. But the importance of hitting a pin will never change, especially when your shield's gone and you've got no more options. But then, as I say, a decent Rein will know this. They'll think, well, his shield's gone, he's going to pin me. So in that situation, you may actually have to try to bait out his pin by taking some damage or moving away a little bit. Now, there's a million different angles that you can come from, but the focus of this guide is how important it is not to miss your pins, but also more importantly, how much pinning you are doing. It's the pinning to shield ratio that a lot of people don't get right. Now, I want to show you a good example of this Rein v Rein pinning situation, because you'll see that their Rein comes in and misses everything. Gives me the opportunity to turn around and pin him easily, slam him and his friends down, and we wipe the team. This is a very good example of what not to do as Rein, especially on attack. If you're going to initiate with your pin, that's fine, but one, you have to hit something, and two, it has to be followed up on. You'll see again, I'll put it in slow motion, he misses everything. I then counter pin him, my team follow up, and he didn't win the point. However, if he'd have waited for me to come back around that corner and he had pinned me, it would have gone completely different, and that's how big of an impact these Rein pins have on the game. Now I'm going to show you some gameplay on King's Row of trying to have the balance between aggressive Rein and shielding. You'll see that they come in and they absolutely destroy us, but the Zen does save us and it manages to just keep the game open a little bit. The enemy team back off and so do we, and we're in a fairly even battle. I missed the pin, but you'll see here that I'm duking in between putting up my shield and trying to deal damage. And this doesn't change. For the next 30 seconds or so, even though when I get nanoed and I miss the pin again, I'll still start swinging for things, but I try not to overextend. Overextending again with Rein is the same issue, and it's much easier to do with a pin, and it's much easier to mess up on defense. The reason is the pins are harder to hit on defense, but also if you go too far away from your team, you leave them vulnerable and you make yourself vulnerable, and it doesn't end well. The last section here, you'll see that me and the Rein are trying to duke out each other's damage, but we're simply doing more damage to their shield than they are to ours. I'm still not hitting the pin too early, and we wait for all the ultimates and slam them down. If I'd have tried to hit the pin on the Rein there, that's the perfect example of what I just said. I would have overextended and missed everything, and the enemy team probably would have killed us. I only decided to try and pin the last guy because he's on his own, and we managed to wipe him and then back off to the car. I now want to show you some very messy gameplay on Hanamura, and these examples are good for your learning experience and my own because I did some really bad things, but we managed to get away with it, and I'll explain why. The enemy team, again, just duking out each other's shield, and I don't manage to slam the enemy team down, and they pin me. In this situation, we should have lost the fight, but we got very, very lucky. We managed to confirm a couple of kills, and I tried to pin someone and kill them, but they do manage to get the massive ults down, and we can't deal through the damage. So again, back up here, you'll see I took a swing for them, but don't overcommit to the fight with Reinhardt. You're not necessarily a damage dealer, and you have definitely got to shield your team at the right time. So there was one good decision that I actually made, but you'll notice that I then have to repair my shield. I cannot, in this situation, keep my shield up because it's going to go down and we're going to lose, but I get slammed and I overcommit to repairing my shield. It gives us a massive vulnerability, and then we get grabbed, but Fredo manages to save the entire team by wiping them with his ult, and then we're back in the same fight 6v6 once more. You'll see that the enemy team have actually backed off because we wrecked their Rein shield, which is good play by their Rein. Then I hit the counter initiation pin and slam the entire enemy team down. This manages to open the fire for us, and we get to wipe all of them. Now, it was a very messy fight. I lost the pin battle, but I got lucky. I kept my shield down for too long, but I got lucky. And we still managed to win the fight because my team saved me. But that was an example of bad Rein play. And it brings the whole example in one that I'm trying to give to you guys is the balance between shielding and pinning and being aggressive is a very fine line. It's not always easy to know when to do it, and sometimes you just have to do one or the other and hope for the best. I don't think anyone can play it perfectly, and when you're playing against a decent Rein, the only thing to do is to out-mind game him, because if he pins you more than you pin him, you're going to lose. And on defense, it's even harder to do that game because you know that their Rein's going to pin you, but you've still got to avoid it and pin him back, or at least get him trapped on your side of a Mei wall or something in order to capitalize on him overextending and missing his pin on you. So back on Hanamura, the enemy team are regrouping. They're coming up the hill again, and just dodge the fire strike. There's no point in standing in front of it. Just get out of the way of it. You can't block from it. The enemy team are coming up, and the shield's up, of course. Try and shield the enemies, throwing a fire strike back as well. Now this is where you try to duke out once more. The enemy team aren't really committing to their fight, and it's going to give us the opportunity to open something up in a second. You'll see my Rein shield's gone, and it has to be go time or hide. I do try to recover some of my shield rather than go in because I think a pin at this point is bad. Back with the shield, and it's getting damaged again, and they're not really fighting. You don't have to commit to a fight if the enemy team aren't either. You'll see here that I'm trying to recharge my shield and take some damage for the team. We managed to ult, I pin in, slam them down again. wipe the enemy team once more. The McCree does kill me, but I do manage to block all of the damage off there again. So that was a much better example of shield down. Do I pin? Do I not pin? You'll see I'll play it again. Do I pin? No, actually, I won't yet. I'll just repair my shield, take a bit of damage, trust my healers to heal me because they can't really miss you, right? You're Reinhardt and Anna's going to heal you. And then once you've got your health back, your shield back, you then do it again. You put your shield up and you wait for that pin. Don't let anyone tell you shouldn't be pinning as Rein. It is your job, even on defense, although it's much harder to coordinate, of course, and you need to make sure you don't pin all the way across map into the enemy spawn, because all you're doing then is opening the fight for the enemy team. So guys, I hope this was helpful. I hope that this opened up Rein in a different light to you guys, because he is an aggressor even though he is defensive as well. His shield's great, but it doesn't last forever, and capitalizing once that shield's down is exactly what you need to learn. Drop your shield if you need to. If you feel like you need to heal your team some more or protect them, yes, put your shield up. But if it breaks, charge in, kill everything. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. So guys, let me know in the comment section down below what you think. Be sure to drop a like and subscribe if you guys enjoyed. Be sure to follow us on Twitter, follow our stream and our Discord, where you guys can play with each other, group up, all consoles, all platforms, all regions. It's a very, very good community, over 2,000 people strong most of the time. So guys, I hope you all have a great day as always. Take care and peace, people.